Angry guy here. I almost said MGTOW. I almost said angry MGTOW. My gosh. What would that have been like? Angry guy here, and women will never recover after hashtag MeToo Part 2. Women will never recover after hashtag MeToo Part 2. Let's just go ahead and jump into the topic today. So, guys, many of you play video games, and you may have heard about what happened with Blizzard, Activision. They were purchased by Microsoft finally this year. However, prior to this happening, there had been a lot of reports and accusations that there was inappropriate behavior happening at the company with hiring, with the way that female employees were treated. And it's really shocking what has happened here. So we're going to actually jump into this article, and it actually illustrates the settlements that have occurred since all of this happened, more than 2 years after a California state agency accused the video game maker Activision Blizzard of fostering a culture of that was not good for women and did not provide fair opportunities for women. For female employees, the agency on Friday withdrew its allegations in a settlement with the company. As part of the settlement, Activision agreed to set aside as much as $47 million to address accusations of pay disparity and unfair treatment when it came to promotions for female employees. In total, the company agreed to pay about $54 million in settlements. In the agreement, the California Civil Rights Department and Activision Blizzard said that no court or any independent investigations has substantiated any allegations. Let me repeat this. In the agreement, not just Activision Blizzard, but the California Civil Rights Department, in addition to the company, California Civil Rights Department, in the agreement said that no court or any independent investigation. So the court did an investigation. Activision Blizzard had an internal investigation done. Both groups did an investigation, and nothing was substantiated. None of the allegations were substantiated about systematic or widespread ill-gotten practices towards women, not fairly promoting them facing issues with other employees, that unwanted conversations. None of it was substantiated. Nothing. Zero. This is absolute madness, guys. Beyond insanity. Beyond insanity. But it does get deeper than that. It gets much, much deeper than that, because despite all of this, the settlement also said an investigation has found no evidence of wrongdoing by Activision's board, its executives, or its chief executive, Robert Kotick. He's also known as Bobby Kotick, the CEO of the company, who is actually stepping down. He will be stepping down as of December 29th because Microsoft has now acquired the company, but he's getting his golden parachute. The move ends a long-running dispute between the state of California and Activision, which makes video games like Call of Duty, Guitar Hero, and World of Warcraft. The company had repeatedly said that the accusations about its workplace culture were false. The case and the pall it created over the company when it was filed in 2021 was a factor that led Microsoft to seek to buy Activision Blizzard because its stock had fallen. Microsoft completed the blockbuster $69 billion deal for Activision this year. So Microsoft knew that it was all lies, and they took advantage of the situation to snap up the company after its stock price had fallen, because this was a $100 billion company. This is a $100 billion company. This is a company that would have been worth more than Disney. This is the maker of Call of Duty. And let me make this very, very clear to y'all. Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they don't play Mario. They don't want to play Mario. They want to play Call of Duty. These people are playing Call of Duty and Fortnite. All they want to do is delete things. All right. So Call of Duty is only going to grow more in popularity. The price is going to go up. They can release Call of Duty for $100 a year, and they will pay $100 every single year to purchase the latest Call of Duty, even if the campaign is less than 8 minutes long. Okay, shorter than the actor who played Kratos in God of War Ragnarok, his speech at the Game Awards in 2022. That was actually a joke that he made about that. And the developers of Call of Duty got angry about it. Anyway, the original complaint from the California Civil Rights Department, which was then called the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, wow, they changed the names so quickly, contend that the state had conducted an investigation into Activision and found that it fostered a pervasive frat boy workplace and that female employees were subjected to constant unwanted attention. At the time, Activision said the complaint included distorted and, in many cases, false descriptions and was irresponsible behavior from accountable state bureaucrats, which is basically what they've now found. So Activision Blizzard has paid out tens of millions of dollars after the settlement, and in the settlement it finds that none of the claims were substantiated. This is extortion. This is absolute extortion. So what's going to happen to the money? So Activision agreed to set aside as much as $47 million to pay women who were employees or contract workers at the company from 2015 to 2020 who said they had received inequitable pay. Okay, unequitable pay. Guys, this is insane. They're getting free money. This is free money. So they're being paid for time that they did not work, time that they did not provide. This is actually robbing the men at the company who have worked hard, put in the hours, the long hours, everything. Do you think after #MeToo, these men were still going around and being and messing around in the company? After Me Too, every guy was on their best behavior. Every guy was avoiding relationships, talking and everything. And these women still went and did this. And now they found that none of this was true. Not only the internal investigation, the courts found that it wasn't true. The very board that accused them of wrongdoing found that there was nothing, no proof whatsoever that any of the claims made were true. And what did they do? They still ended having to pay a settlement to the state of California and putting aside $47 million to pay women. This is extortion. What are they paying them for? What are they paying them for, guys? They found they did not find that any of these claims were true. This is the reality now. Women will never recover after #MeToo because the trust is gone. And people think that, oh, this is just how business is done, and it's the price of doing business, it's the price of being in relationships. Guys, I've said this before. It's just like OnlyFools and Lonely Fans. Women have sold out their futures for instant gratification in the present. They think that they're winning right now. They think that they're going to have their cake and eat it too, and it's going to be wonderful. They have no idea what the consequences truly are for them. They don't realize that this is going to catch up to all women in the very near future. They can enjoy themselves right now. They can celebrate right now. But guys, it's not over. This is only going to lead to men completely, avoiding relationships, fostering mentorship, and fewer women having opportunities. Of course, they'll probably, Microsoft will probably make a woman a new CEO of the company and appoint a bunch of women in these positions. But let me tell you something right now. The talent in these companies are the men who build these projects, maintain these projects, create these concepts, and without them, you don't have a company. And if these men start walking away from these positions, forming their own companies, it is an absolute nightmare. You look at the gaming industry right now, and you're seeing that a lot of these startups, one thing that they don't have as many women. Some of them have women, but because women have always been in the gaming industry, but more and more of these startups, it's just a bunch of bros. It's literally just a bunch of bros. And if they are women, it's literally like corporate people, like just very, very corporate people that are not very nice to be around. Just absolutely miserable. Like, guys, as you can see here, Activision Blizzard, the video game development and publishing company, has been in the spotlight due to allegations of workplace misconduct. Here are the key findings from different investigations. Internal investigation. Activision Blizzard conducted an internal review of workplace issues. The conclusion was that there is no widespread unfair treatment of women in the company. The finding contradicts the allegations made by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing in their lawsuit filed back in July 2021. The company's board and external advisors determined that senior executives did not intentionally ignore or downplay instances of gender disparities reported by female employees. The SEC investigation, so the Securities and Exchange Commission, this is the same group that Elon Musk is always fighting with, charged Activision Blizzard with failing to maintain proper disclosure controls related to complaints of workplace misconduct. They said the company also violated an SEC whistleblowers rule. Activision agreed to pay a $35 million penalty to settle these charges. However, keep in mind, they did not find any misconduct. Just that they're saying that they didn't maintain proper disclosure controls. Disclosure controls. This is ridiculous. They didn't have a proper system in place so that they could report these issues, even though none of these issues were substantiated. There were no findings of wrongdoing. And now all of these women are collecting massive paychecks. They lied. All these women lied, and they're going to collect massive paychecks, and the company is being punished. The men in the company is being punished. The reputation of the company is being punished. Bobby Kotick, the founder of the company, the CEO who built it into this powerhouse, his name, his legacy has been tarnished. And, they tried to turn him into like a scumbag. And guess what? It was all lies. The whole damn thing was built on lies. And welcome to the reality. Guys, there's no going back. There's absolutely no going back. But I'd rather say about Robert Kotick. Guys, this is the end. M2, Me Too was the end, but this is Me Too Part 2. And what I said, guys, there's zero after you see what happened to Jonathan Major, where he was the victim, and the aggressor became an accuser and a victim now, and now his career has been destroyed. And even if he appeals it and he wins and everything, I mean, maybe he'll get Camila Vasquez to represent him. It doesn't matter, because at this point his career will never recover, and he did nothing wrong. He was the one who actually was wrong to that entire situation. People are in shock. I saw something on IGN, and they basically said, "Oh, we're not jumping in and saying that if anything was wrong or right," because they know what happened to him was wrong. But now's a great time to recast Kang the Conqueror. Like, just get rid of Kang, not recast. Get rid of Kang entirely. Get rid of it entirely. We're not talking about Jonathan Majors, and his job or anything that happened in the real world regarding him, because they know it's all bullcrap, and they know that he's appealing it, and that it'll likely be wiped away. And the woman who did what she did, she really needs to face criminal charges. Oh, but they're not touching that. They're just everyone, guys. We live in a world where no one cares about men except for men, but it's going to come. Everything is coming back because men are walking away from Western society relationships and saying, "I'm done with this. I'm done with Western society." And people talk about the bachelor's tax. Guess what? The bachelor's tax will predominantly be on guys who earn a certain income, and if it affects men, it'll also affect women. You have to think about that, because when they sneak it in, if they try to tax men, it will backfire. Because they're going to tax men, they're going to tax women, they're going to push towards socialism, but because men typically earn more money than women, then it's going to affect men more. But because if they do it, if it's just against men, then that's discrimination. It wouldn't be constitutional. And if it goes to the Supreme Court, they'll get rid of that. So it's going to be something that they'll try to make it gender specific as much as possible, but men will just work fewer hours. So men will work fewer hours. They won't work as much. They will put their funds in places where you can't touch them. So they'll do day trading. They'll earn derivatives, dividends. That's how they're gonna make. That's how they'll make the money. They'll reduce their tax liability. So, for example, if they have to cut their salary from $100,000 a year down to $50,000 a year, they absolutely will do that. So now they'll work fewer hours. They won't work nearly as hard as they were working before. They'll have a much lower tax liability, and they'll still bank away every single penny and dime that they would have made in the first place. And instead of having a relationship, getting married, having children in Western society, investing in real estate, paying into the government, nope, they won't do any of that. They'll just walk away. They will just keep walking away. And women think that the government loves them. No, they'll just put a greater financial tax burden on women, and women will be forced to drop out of the workforce at increasing rates because they can't manage it. And men are just guys, men find solutions. Men are problem solvers. This is just the reality of it. What do you guys think here, guys, regarding everything we said? Women will never recover after hashtag MeToo Part 2. I want to know your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss them there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA and walking away. And cheers.